I started in the shop when I was very young.
The items that he makes are so vibrant and full of life.
They are joyful and sometimes funny and sometimes very poignant.
You have to, tell the story.
Artist Eric Ejeti-Anan tells remarkable stories through a surprising medium.
I build design coffins.
He is carrying on ideas about death and life that are very particular to West Africa and to Ghana.
A design coffin is a piece that is built to represent people, what they were doing actually when they were alive.
It may be that they were a fisherman and this is the fish they always caught.
What's awesome about the coffins is they exist for a very brief moment of time, but then when they kind of go away, they leave an impression on the mind, which could also be said about, people's lives.
His work is a window into another way of living with death.
Eric was invited to share his unique vision as a visiting artist at UW-Madison.
I find what he does is really interesting. It's a mixture between traditional hand tools, but the spontaneous sculptural element. He'll kind of give me a hands-on approach to it.
Once you have it and you can control it, you could do a whole lot with it.
It could be learning new techniques, it's encountering new ideas.
I would love to learn from you, and I'm very open to tell you about what I know about Africa.
Eric is carrying on a family tradition.
It was actually my grandfather who started the whole idea of these design coffins.
Originally, his grandfather built palanquins, festival rides for tribal chiefs.
He was building one in the form of a cocoa pot for a chief to ride in. But unfortunately, the chief passed away. So this chief was buried in his palanquin as a coffin.
His work is used in funerals in Ghana, but he's also pushing it beyond that. He's pushing it toward conceptual work.
It was just recently they were being recognized as art pieces.
In Eric's hands, a coffin can carry a message.
When I was coming here, I had the idea to build a gun to address the issue of let's try to help abolish gun violence. So I actually did build with some students. We had the idea to paint the American flag in black and white to represent the color of race.
While his art pieces are popular, most of his work remains true to his grandfather's vision.
Their intended purpose is to house the body of a person. Eric builds these beautiful objects and they come into life for a purpose.
It's a whole traditional thing for a whole tribe. And now it's spreading all over in Ghana. And that's one reason why I still remain home. But I go back with a lot of the skills I learned here. So still struggling.
Seeing a point of view that you're not familiar with, expanding your mind a bit and see that things are different, but maybe it's not a bad thing.
There's many ways to be alive. There's many ways to live in this world.
Death doesn't have to be this sad thing of losing someone. It could be a celebration of someone's life.
That's what's so lovely about it, is transforming what we experience as a great weight into something that's full of joy, without negating the sadness.
I built a coffin for myself in the form of one of my tools, which was the wooden hand plane. That's the tool I use all the time. That's the tool I love. It represents my profession. It represents the love I have for the work I do.